Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Peter Guzman joins us. He's the president of the Latin Chamber of Commerce. He's here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Story County is leading Nevada. Home of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, Google, Tesla, Panasonic, and other world-leading companies. Story County provides thousands of tech, advanced manufacturing, and logistics careers for Nevadans. We're diversifying and driving Nevada's economy and generating millions in tax revenue and billions in economic activity across northern Nevada. Story County is leading Nevada's future.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always delighted to welcome back to the program Peter Guzman. He is the president of the Latin Chamber of Commerce. How are you, sir?
Thank you for having me. And let me say congratulations. Wow, you've been doing this a long time. So certainly appreciate it, allowing my voice to be heard.
Well, you have a very strong voice in this state these days. You've had some tremendous events. You had one just a couple of days ago. You want to share what that was all about?
I got to tell you, that was amazing. And I'll be honest with you, I was not sure, when it comes to healthcare, I wasn't sure what the community support would be because it can be somewhat boring to some folks. We had a packed, sold out room. We had Intermountain Health and Toro University. And what I did was I brought, the potential of a children's hospital being built in Nevada, a world-class children's hospital, and how we're going to fill those positions as far as workforce. And that's what Toro University does. And so I brought them together, and it was an amazing luncheon. Amazing.
Mayor Shelley Berkeley, it's fun to say that now, with her connections to Turo. Was she present at your luncheon?
She was.
She's going to be a great asset to the city of Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think she's going to do a great job. We supported her. We endorsed her at the Latin Chamber of Commerce. And so speaking of that, just so your viewers know, we in the assembly, we endorsed 26 candidates and we got 20 of them right, which is still a strong number. In the Senate, we endorsed 9 senators and got 9 right, including, Senator Lori Rogich. So that was 9 out of 9. So, overall, a good number there.
Yeah, to say the least. And of course, this means that Sig can sleep at home now.
That's right.
Because if she'd have lost, you'd have been in the backyard for a while.
He would have been sleeping in my house.
to say the least. All right, so we're recording this on the morning of January 22nd. What do you think of the Trump administration so far?
I mean, listen, whether you agree or disagree with the man, he ran on certain policies and certain philosophies. He didn't hide them, so nobody can say he was lying or hiding during the election. He said what he was going to do, and so far he's kind of done it. So, I certainly I'm a little sensitive to the immigration issue. I'll be monitoring that. You and I have had long discussions about immigration. I'm sure we're going to have more about it today. But certainly, what I will say is that I watched the festivities, and they were elegant. And here we are, new day now. So we're going to see what's going to happen. Again, he ran on a platform, and he's doing what he said he was going to do. I often say when people ask me, when I ask me about Governor Lombardo, I always say the same thing about that man. That man ran on certain promises and certain platform, and he's going one by one. He wants to keep his word. So that is refreshing. You can't always agree on policy, but what you can agree on is that you want people to run, and you want people to mean what they say.
What I found interesting was that Trump cut across all kinds of lines, like the Latino community, the African American community, because the economy was the number one issue, and the economy affects everybody. And as you listen to Democratic leadership discussing the election, they're still having a hard time grasping that those were the realities of this election.
I honestly thought that the way he was elected, the mandate, the swing states, I thought it was going to create great change in both parties, right? I'm now seeing a little bit of tone deaf. Like, people on the left they're acting shocked still, and I don't know what they're shocked about. I mean, you took out you had a president step down, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months before the election, and you didn't have a primary, which is embedded in our institution of this country. And what did you expect? What did you expect to happen? And so, yeah, he won. He told you what he was going to do, and you can't act shocked now. And African Americans and minorities, Hispanics, I think they're a little tired of the BS. I think they're tired of, looking around and saying, okay, we've given our votes away and our life hasn't gotten better. And that's what it always comes down to. Listen, I know that people who are in the business of politics and polling and all that, they try to overcomplicate this thing. I don't, and we don't at the Latin Chamber. We know what it's about. It's always about your wallet. James Carville said it. It's always about the economy. At the end of the day, all the other things, they do matter, but they matter a little less than, can you pay your bills? Can you pay your mortgage? And I used to get laughed at early on when I would talk about egg prices, even to Mary Daly, who's the Federal Reserve of San Francisco. And she said, Pete, you're absolutely right. Egg prices is an indication of how things are going. And by the way, in the Hispanic community, Sam, eggs are a staple. It's protein. It's a way of filling up a big family for, not spending a whole lot of money like you would on steak and other things. So eggs is such a staple in our community, in our households, that to this day, I love eggs. I don't like paying $9, $10, $12 for a dozen, though.
Yeah, to say the least. What was interesting for me yesterday? I was walking through CVS and I overheard a conversation just among some customers in there. And
so you were being nosy?
Well, yeah. How do you think I get all my information? And what was interesting was they were talking about the Panama Canal. I mean, the public is aware of what is going on. They're paying attention. Even some of the things that are being thrown out there that might seem a little outrageous, like Greenland, Canada, and the Panama Canal, are being discussed by the public because that's what they're hearing and that's what they're discussing. And
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
well, by the way, there's nothing silly about the Panama Canal. Uh, major, major products, goods, and services go through the Panama Canal. We built it. Um, we lost lives building it, and I'm not quite sure why we ever gave it away. Uh, but I know one thing: it's not silly. It's not silly at all. It's actually could be considered national security. So Greenland might sound silly to some, but you know what? Go look in the map. Go look how important Greenland can be from a national security military standpoint.
All right, but I mean, I don't think that we're going to be invading Greenland and irritating Denmark.
I certainly didn't say anything about invading. I'm saying it's not that silly to talk about, hey, Greenland, maybe we can do it better. And would you be interested? I mean, it's not silly. I don't see it as silly.
Well,
I
okay,
think
so just to bring it back here, the reality is that with the warming in the Arctic and opening up new sea routes that Russia is definitely working their way towards, it would make sense for the United States to have a relationship with Denmark that controls Greenland that would benefit the United States and help us. I guess that's more my point.
no, and I think you're spot on. And I'm sure. Listen, things are said sometimes, but I think that's where we're going to go. What I'm trying to say is, we need to be careful on what we call silly. I think probably some people thought it would be silly to ever think that China would be building islands in the middle of the ocean, and guess what? They are.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing about that, and I apologize. I shouldn't have used the word silly. Um, the Panama Canal, that's another whole interesting story there. But you've got to go back to the Carter administration. Jimmy Carter was the one that gave it back to Panama for $1. And there's talk, I understand, of building another strategic waterway, but I mean, I'm sure that is decades away if it happens. You talked about a mandate. I get the sense more of the electorate that they gave Trump the opportunity to do what he says in the next 4 years. He really only has 2 years to do it because of the cycle, because it'll already be the midterms at that point. And I get the sense that we are in for a seesaw where the Republicans have it now, but they don't have a huge majority in either house. And there's also what goes on internally within the parties. Just because they're all Republicans doesn't mean to say they all agree on everything. And if things are not better at the price of eggs, let's go back to that, in 4 years, even in 2 years, you could see things swing right back to the Democrats, or potentially even a third party.
No question. I mean, it's not 4 years. It's like you said, 2 years. He needs to do a few things real quickly to make things better, or the midterms could be a challenge. No question about it for the Republican Party. I just want to see work get done. I just want to see things get really done. They like to tout the infrastructure bill and these bills, but I mean, how many construction sites have we seen? And we're building charging stations supposedly. I've heard of 8 of them. So I want Washington to get to work. I think the strategy should be what's best for America. And I know that sounds, easy, but I hope that could be the strategy.
Okay, but is there any more inefficient system of getting things done than government? I mean,
No.
government says, let's do it today, and 2 years later, they get started.
2 years, yeah.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, I mean, California is going to be interesting because, there's going to be great rewards in the rebuild, but not if they do it the way they do it in California, which is you take 2.5, 3 years to get a permit. to do construction.
All right. Well, okay, so you brought that up. Let's talk about that, because there is discussion now that with all that has gone on in California that has resulted in these devastating fires, that you could see California actually turning red over the next couple of cycles. You buying into that through your connections in Southern California?
Not 100%. Do I think it could tighten things up? Yeah, it could. It honestly could tighten things up, because they've just allowed these fires put a real spotlight on. There's got to be compromise, guys. You can't for the environment's sake or for the environmentalists not clean up, brush underneath trees and I think what always happens is people go too far on either side. The country's in the middle, and California better figure that out real quick, or it could go red.
By the way, I also think that Gavin Newsom's chances of becoming president someday are out the window at this point.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I had this discussion last night about how different things could have been, right? I'm here to tell you that if the Democrat Party would have gotten Biden out 2 years ago and they ran a real primary, Gavin Newsom could be president today. He could have been president today. He would have beat Kamala Harris in the primary, and who knows, head to head with Trump. The guy is sharp. I mean, when I say sharp, I mean slick, sharp, polished, and that could have been a different race. And now I think his chances are diminished 100%. I don't see who would vote for that man to run a country when he can't run his state.
Well, and all you'd have to do is run every campaign commercial, starting out with a picture of a fire in Los Angeles, and it would be over. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more with Peter Guzman after this timeout.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday. Trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Here on 7 at 7, we're bringing you the local headlines in just 7 minutes.
We've got you covered in the morning, evening, and for all breaking news in between and as it happens.
Life is busy, and we don't waste your time. Join us for local news now streaming on our YouTube page.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Peter Guzman. He's the president of the Latin Chamber of Commerce. It's a statewide organization here in Nevada. We brought up immigration a little while ago. What's always interesting is that even people who have immigrated to the United States, especially those that have done it legally, are also the people saying, hey, we don't want to see illegal immigration. It's okay if it's legal, but if it's not, if it's illegal. What are you hearing at this point? What are the concerns? Because obviously we need immigration for so many reasons.
Correct. We need immigration, but what we need more, and you and I have had these discussions, we need comprehensive immigration reform. It's 2025. How do we not have a system of vetting, checks, and balances to have a good immigration program?
Okay, hang on. Okay, I got to stop you for a second, because this is my it's not a beef, but it's my point of view. I think the problem has been the phrase comprehensive. I think you've got to do it piece by piece to get it done. Take little steps to get a big project accomplished, because we've been sitting here since 1986 not getting comprehensive immigration reform done.
I get it, but you know what? I get it, but the problem with doing it piecemeal, little pieces at a time, is that it keeps it in the political strategy of winning elections. And what happens is it causes divisiveness and a hatred and a racism, and then we never get real big things done. You know, we send folks up to DC to do big things. As a leader, I try to do big things every day, right? Of course, I pay attention to little things, and we do little things, but I'm looking for big, bold impact. And DC certainly has the power to do that. They just don't have the will to do that. And there's a difference, Sam. That's number one. Number two, listen, immigrants who come here, they're usually leaving places that do not have what we have. And that is law and order, checks and balances. They're trying to get out of that chaos. So of course you're going to see immigrants that are saying, listen, we're immigrants. We know we need immigration here. That doesn't mean we need, violent criminal felons. We do know that Venezuela cleaned out some of its jails and mental health institutions because they couldn't handle them anymore. And what do? They helped them get over here. We know that exists. And so we do have to have a protected border. We do have to have a system. That's what's great about America, is that system. And once that fails, America fails.
Okay, so you're 100% correct. We need a system. In the 1960s, we had a system where when we needed workers, we could apply, get them. They would come, they would be able to go back home. They had to go back home, but they could come back again. We need a system in place that benefits the United States, and that is the problem, is that Congress doesn't do their job.
And why? Because it became campaign strategy. It actually won campaigns. It wins elections. And so as long as it does that, and people don't pay a price for, kicking the can down the road, it's going to continue.
More with Peter Guzman after this timeout.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do-It-Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
The new year is bringing so much fun to Tamarack Casino with cash and free play drawings Thursdays and Saturdays and $40,000 in grand finale giveaways Thursday, February 27th. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Peter Guzman. He's the president of the Latin Chamber of Commerce of Nevada. Governor Lombardo, I thought Sandra Cosgrove, the political science professor, had a really good point when a story came out yesterday that said that the governor's budget wasn't balanced, and she said, "Get over it. You know, they'll fix it. We got to move on." I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what she said. Isn't that the point here? Just, let's move on.
Where did she say that
at? She was quoted. I saw the quote on Facebook, but it was
good, because you know what? That's my response. So good for her for saying it, because I would say the same thing. It's not. Listen, as soon as you see the opposition wanting to have a gotcha moment, that tells me that they're more about politics than policy. They're more about politics and strategy than they are the goodness of the country, goodness of our state. Okay, so it's not balanced. He has till January 29th to balance it. That's the law. Let him do it. Help him do it. Why don't you dig in and help him instead of making accusations?
Well, I think the answer there, Peter, is that there's an election in 2 years and the governor is running. And
that's right.
Politics rears its ugly head. Listen, we're going to be in Vegas in a couple of weeks. You'll have some time to come join us?
Always, my friend. And you'll have time to join me at a nice restaurant.
Well, that sounds even better. Peter Guzman, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
And we'll be right back.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
A new year brings new ways to win big with the $150,000 flurry of cash giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Thursday and Saturday prize drawings, including up to $5,000 in cash and up to $10,000 during the grand prize giveaways, only at the Carson Valley Inn.
We wouldn't steer you wrong with the gold standard of steaks at Joel's Chop House. Indulge in dry-aged steaks, seafood, Wagyu tomahawks, and great views of the Strip.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day on various platforms, including television, radio, our website, audio and video podcasts, YouTube. You want to find the show, you can find it pretty darn easily. And we cover politics, business, health, and education. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next broadcast.